Well, hello everyone. This is Julie again from the Scraps of My Life. I am back from my little short vacation. I had a blast. I'm having issues with my camera. This is like the third time I've tried to film this and it keeps cutting off on me for some reason. But anywho, let's try it again. And um, while I was away, I not only got to visit with family and my sisters, my mom, my husband. um, I went shopping. I went to Hobby Lobby, um, Joann's, and a big cloth store in the area, and found some really pretty fabrics. But the prettiest ones I think I found actually at Hobby Lobby. I bought some tapestry type fabrics to do some book covers with and to add to my journals because I love all the fabric I'm seeing in the journals now. Just absolutely gorgeous. And I don't feel so like such an oddball anymore. I always thought, well, I'm always putting too much, well, okay, like the lace. I'm always adding the lace, especially to my books, and it makes them bulky. And the book I made before I left and showed you, the journal that made it too frilly on the front. So I don't feel so bad now that I see everybody else doing it as much, so much. I mean, there was a few of us that did, but then now there's like everybody does it. I mean, so I don't feel like I'm like out in left field anymore doing the wrong thing. But I try to resist bulk more than I used to because at one time I made my books for looks. Now you make them to use. So it makes a big difference. Um, but yeah, I had lots of fun. Bought a few new trims and um, a new paper pad by Tim Holtz and stuff like that. But the fabric was the thing I was most excited about. And when I talked to my sister last night, she said, "Okay, have you started your books yet?" I said, "No, no." I said I had to unfortunately fix my cookbook. So, the book you see in front of you is what I'm on here to show you actually, but to explain this book and why I'm not doing the fabric books, okay, I have to tell you about my cookbook. Because before I went out of town, I did a video. I posted it. It's the first video I've posted in years, actually. And I told you that I was going out of town and I'd be doing more videos. Well, this is my cookbook. I had made this months, I don't know, it may have been a year now since I've made it, and I never made a cover for it. Well, because it ended up to be about, it would need at least a 3-inch spine. And so I was intimidated because the book was heavy. Okay, I don't even know if I should try to show you the inserts that actually go in this book. This is just the bare pages pretty much. The inserts are sitting over here. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. By themselves. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Got a couple things caught up in here. I've got so much stuff going on here. It's not even funny. I cannot do one thing at a time. It's crazy that I'm that way. That's the way it is. Okay, so these pretty much, give or less one or two pieces here that don't belong, are the inserts that were in this book. So now, this lets you see and understand why the pages were so heavy, right? And this is all printed on, most of these are printouts off the computer because I used Dreams Etc., her Ooh La La kit. I also used some stuff by Cameo Shop and Tsunami Rose, and I think Lulu Design Art. I think that that pretty much covers. But the main book is the Dreams Etc. With the Ooh La La kit. I just fell in love with her book. It was so, let me use the word without taking offense, trashy. And I loved it. I mean, she had stuff everywhere in that book. Okay. She did a file folder album and she filled it up, filled it up. So it's okay, I want to do that. So I've been needing and wanting to make me a book forever for myself, useful, that I could put things that my recipes that when my daughter or my son and they get a hold of it, they say, "Oh yeah, here's mom's chocolate chip cookie recipe," if they can find it, right? Because there's so much stuff here. Okay, so these were the printouts and things that I even made myself, like this, for instance. Got this jar off the internet and filled it with my own stuff and made a label. I mean, it's just gorgeous, right? So all this was in this book. So that's why when I put the cover on it, it did not hold up. It completely separated from the book, separated from the cover. And I've taken all the side pieces that were attaching each other. I've cut them all off so that now, and these pages were joined together, so they made pockets. I'll show you the back of one so you'll understand. I've covered a couple of them since. Okay, like this, for instance. This was taped top and bottom and made a pocket between pages. 2-page sets made a pocket. So that made it even heavier on the binding, right? Because I didn't join the binding back to the cover. I just joined the sides of the book. So it separated. I took it and threw it over there on top of the printer and said patooey on it. I am not messing with this. I came home. My husband and I, we came home on the weekend. I started unpacking all my beautiful finds that while I was away on vacay, and looked over at my cookbook, and I didn't feel like, starting anything new that night. So I just started piddling with it. Next thing you know, there I am with the cookbook. So I took it all apart. I took all the inserts, every single one. Actually, my first thought was I'm gonna save all the inserts and start over. That's what my husband said. He said, just start over. He said, you made that one, you can make another one. I'm like, yeah, you don't know what kind of time it takes to make a book. So as I did that, the thing was that I used papers in that book, the farmhouse papers that you just cannot get a hold of anymore. They're in that book. And even though they're nothing fabulous, but I liked them. They went with what I was doing. Anyway, long story short, I took it apart and I said, I'm going to fix this book. So I started working on it. So I had to drag all my stuff back out, and I haven't even found all of it, but what I could find, and started working on it. Well, when I work on my books, I sit and watch YouTube videos because you guys are such inspiration. And I love listening to you talk and talk about your works of art. And that's what I do. And I'm sure a lot of you do that because some of you have mentioned it. It's fun, it's inspirational, it keeps the juices flowing. And that's what I was doing when I was making my cookbook. And I started watching another video, just recent, by Amity Bloom, which is Nazi. And she had this beautiful magazine in front of her. Now, none of you know this about me, but I love gorgeous Victoria magazine, uh, the old garden magazine. I can't think of the name of it. Certain magazines I adore. And I had never seen this magazine before, and I thought how gorgeous the artwork was in it because being an artist, I love other art, I call it whimsical art. That's my thing. And I'm no masterpiece drawer, but I love whimsical art. And that includes watercolors and whatever, pencils, whatever. So when I saw her book, I said, oh my goodness. So when I was in Raleigh, long story short, I bought me one at Joann's. And I got the spring edition because that's what they had. And no, it was not cheap. And I said, oh my goodness. I mean, I've got boxes, okay? Boxes. Printer copy boxes. Printer copy paper boxes full of magazines. Okay. I just cannot, I keep promising my husband I'm going to go through them and get rid of some of them, and it never happens. So, anywho, I said I'm going to pay that for a magazine and then I'm going to tear it apart. I said, I just don't know. I got home with it, and I had, you know what, I told a little story there. I didn't realize that, but I did see her video prior to going out of town, so that's how I knew to get that magazine. So I didn't mean to tell a boo-boo there. I just forgot my timeline. So anyway, I came back and looked at her videos again, and that's what it was. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to pull that magazine out and I'm going to work on that. So I set the cookbook aside, the fabric aside, and I said, I'm going to try this because, like I said, I've got tons of magazines. So I did. I love the paper in the magazine. Like she said, not all of it's glossy, and some of it is actually beautifully weighted. And it's just gorgeous, great paper. So she used the front cover. I used the back one because it had this gorgeous bird on it. Why not, right? It is beautiful. And I used him for my cover, but because the cover's not, this is 11 3/4 inches high. It's almost 12 inches, and it's 5 something inches wide, so it's about 11 1/2 wide total, open. And so I had to add scrapbook paper to the back cover to bring it on around. So that's what I did. And then I had this, while I was sitting here waiting for the computer to update between the shutoffs there. I don't know what was going on with my camera. I found this paper that I was working with in the book, and this color is perfect. So I want to make a label of some sort to go up here, I think, and put a title on it. Anyway, this is for my gardening, and it's not just for my gardening pictures that I already have, but also that I want to have. So what I mean by that is it's sort of a wish book, and I have inside the cover here. This is the inside of the back cover, and or it would have been the front. I don't know. Anyway, there it is. I added some scrapbook paper to it. This is scrapbook paper. Some scrapbook paper that I wouldn't normally use in any other way I used in this book. Um, this right here is an example of my wish book. So I found this in my recent garden magazine. It is A New Rose by David Austin, and I want to get this in my garden. So I clipped it out, and it's after the form of the old English roses. As you can well see, they're my favorite rose, the English roses. They're so gorgeous. So it's going to be a wish book as well as a present day garden book. And so I'll just flip through it real quick for you. I am still working on it. When I am done putting pages, I'm not certain if I've got all my pages in here that I want. I think I have 16 pages, and then that's, uh, one side. So double-sided, that's 32 pages. So one, two, four-sided. Okay, so 64, whatever. It's a bunch of pages. And so I've done some really nice graph paper in here that I bought to actually go in my calendar. And it's so nice and heavy. I actually took some of it to cover up some of the writing that I wanted to do away with right away, and did a pocket here. And because this is about the territory of cats and dogs, you know, I don't know. I didn't need that in my garden journal. So I went ahead and covered it up, and it's ready to write on. I might have a tag sitting in there, just stuck it in there. These two pages right here to me are two of the most beautiful in the whole magazine, because it's got this beautiful artwork of these apples. But then it also has a wish project that I want in my garden. And when I get my house sold, I'm going to, Lord willing, have a garden shed. I don't know if it'll be this big, or it might be half as small. I don't know. It might look like a dump, but I'm going to have a garden shed. I'm determined to have it. I've wanted one forever and ever and ever. I'm going to have one. So This is one of my wish things. And besides that, it's gorgeous, isn't it? It's just beautiful. It was right in the magazine. What, call that fate, right? Anyway, I'm so silly. I did a glassing, took a glassing bag and made a pocket out of it over here. There's a couple butterflies stuck in there that's going to go somewhere on maybe this pages. Some tabs I made out of some cardstock, of the printed cardstocks, pages from the album, some paper from the cardstock there. Just added both because I needed both. I didn't feel like these were heavy enough to do a lot of pockets from, and I did want some pockets in the journal, so I added some cardstock. And this is you recognize this. I know it's been around forever and ever and ever, and this is the specialty one, and the name of it escapes me, but it's been around forever. And yeah, this is part of it. This is another paper line. It is, I do have that one. It is right here somewhere. Um, Junk, Daily Junk by the House of Three. That is that paper, that yellow. And then there's some more of it in here. So this is, I added tabs to some of the magazine pages to kind of keep down on the wear and tear. Plus when you fold it open and it holds it, it's a nice weight. I've got it double-sided with the cardstock because some of the pages are short, half page, whatever. And it holds it down really nicely. Yes, I know that one's crooked. And this is the soiree of the same paper line, same company. And so I do remember those, but the other one I can't think of the name of right now. The gorgeous bunnies. Oh my, I bought this magazine for any other reason than the bunnies. There's 3 pages of them, I think it is, and they're so gorgeous. And I love them because they have flowers all over them. I know that's why, so there's no mystery. This page right here is really special. Maybe my camera will keep going and I can tell you about it. I have had a garden since, well, not the first year I was married or the second, but not long after, when I moved back from South Carolina to North Carolina, I started having flower gardens and then vegetable gardens because my dad was a avid gardener and he'd had a garden almost half of our lives at least. And so I learned to garden from him and from my mom and my grandmother. She always had a huge vegetable garden and she loved flowers. And I think that's where I inherited all my love for gardening, was handed down from her down, blah, 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 down the line. But I love it. I love color. I love texture. I love gardening. That's just the bottom line. But I had never had succulents in my garden. Now, I know you can't see that picture too well because the light is shimmering on it. Now, this is out of my garden magazine, and I clipped it because it's not a wish anymore. It is now a reality because this is my first year. Now, these are not the ones I purchased, but they're similar. And I put it here to hold a place until I get a good picture of my own when they get a little bit more mature, because when you get them, they're really small. Unless you buy a mature one, but I didn't. I bought a smaller one so I could have a lot more of them because they're a little expensive. And this is going to be my first year growing succulents, and I made this little tag right here with my glitter pens and whatnot. And I actually had written an article, so to speak, on the paper to put it in my journal here. And um, when I went to fold it to fit it in here, it would not fit. So it wouldn't fit this pocket. It wouldn't fit behind this because I put it too far to the right because of the lace. So I'm going to have to rewrite it so that it at least fits in this pocket here. So that's what that's sitting there for, to write on. Okay. So anyway, so that's why this page is important. This 2-page spread is about my succulents. And I'm going to be putting pictures in here of them. I did this so that I could actually, slide of photos under here. Going to be cool. All right, moving on. This button, isn't this cute? Yeah, there's some bulk. Yeah, unnecessary, but there it is. Okay, so kitty cat. This is here simply because of the kitty cat. And it says, hello, I'm Daphne, but I was thinking about putting my name there. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but there it is. Okay, so going on right on through here. Moving on, moving on. More of that junk paper. It's called Daily Junk. And then here's some of the magazine paper, and it's so nice. I mean, really, I wish they still made magazines with this nice paper. So that's there. This is about singing. So I cut out on the other page, you'll see the hearts. And I have some music paper, and I'm going to cut some hearts out. I'm going to work with that heart theme, and I'm going to do some, I don't know, maybe a bumblebee. I don't know. I'm going to think of something. I'll get it together. But love this paper. And Amity Bloom, or Nazi, had put this in the center of her book from the magazine, and I decided to do the same thing. But I'm going to doctor it up, I think, and put something down the sides of it. I don't know. Put a photo here. I don't know. I'm going to use it. This is the reason I've never made a magazine book is because I've never really had a use for glue books. I thought, well, if you make a book, it should be able to be written on. If you have writing on the page already, you cannot write over it. Not really. So I said, you know what? I can fix that. So she kind of put out a challenge. Nazi did. You know, why don't you try this? She said, and tag me in your post. Well, I don't know that I'll tag her on this one. I may tag her when I'm finished. I don't know. Maybe I'll do both. Honestly, I don't even know how to do that on YouTube. So we'll see. Anyway, it's getting late into the video here. But anyway, I did this as my center because I loved it too also. I loved that it was a lot of white space and I could do a lot with that. So, and like her, I did love this, the poem on it. So here's the page. Look at the hearts, how cute. And so I said, I'm going to cut some out. I'm going to do something with that. So there it is. All right. Some more of the book. Here's some more of the paper. This is from the front. This gives you the information on what's on what page. And I just thought it was so pretty and colorful. I love this right here, how it looks. So I'm using it in the book. I love it. I love it. And look what's on the back of it. Look at all that space. I mean, photos and writing. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So over here is more scrapbook paper. And then there's those adorable bunnies again. They're so cute. Okay, so yeah, love the bunnies. And paper, magazine paper that I stuck part of a file folder edge on. I thought it would be kind of cool. It was kind of short. I wanted to add something to it. Little bright on this side. I might tone that down with some spray or I don't know, some ribbon. I don't know. And this is a door hanger that was actually in the magazine. There's actually two of them. Has this gorgeous, gorgeous bird on the bottom. So I'm going to use it and I'm going to glue some paper to here to do like a triple fold out or something to write on really nice. That's the plan for that. And then over here, this is a piece, how to make this out of a garden magazine that I get and do-it-yourself planner. And I loved it, and I love the bouquet, and this page is about bouquets. So I said, that's cool. I'm going to make a pocket thing out of that. I put scrapbook paper that's writable on the back, and I'm going to put that in there. And then on this side, I did do a pocket, and there's paper in there, the magazine, just some paper I've glued down up here. Love all the artwork on these pages. Isn't it beautiful? This is about cleaning. So I did this beautiful paper here into a pocket style flip out. And then this is a partial page and I want to do something with it because it's a little ordinary. And then love this because it's part of the, workshop from the other side. This is more of that about the doggies and the kitties. Actually, that's Mr. Bear. It's just the pictures like the dogs and the kitties. Some nice journaling paper, pocket I made, tag I'm going to do something with, and a tag that I had printed, stamped actually a long time ago and put in a couple kits I had. And I did some extras for myself. And I sat here with my pens and colored it last night when I got tired and just sit here and did it. Just I said I was trying to think of sayings to put in my book. And that's something I came up with. I dig, plant, water, and repeat. Anyway, so there's that. And then this is the back cover. And I'm thinking I'm going to have to stabilize the back cover because this is the magazine and this is the scrapbook paper, and it's kind of flimsy in comparison. So I may stabilize this somehow. I don't know. And I was trying to determine whether to do this in a one signature thing as it is right now or do a double signature book. But I don't know. I'm liking how this feels and the size of it. This, like I said, it's really big and it's over almost 6 inches wide. It might be 6 inches wide because I added this extra paper on the edge of it because I didn't want, just to have this edge. Yeah, it's over 6 inches. It's hard to tell. Six and an eighth. So yeah, and I, like I said, I found this paper and I'm going to do something up here and title my book. So that's my garden wish book, and going to have pictures of my present garden, pictures I've taken and have never, I printed some, but I haven't actually put them in anything. So, alrighty, well, I showed it to you, and when I get it finished, I'll do a flip through for you again. And I wanted to thank Nazi of Amity Bloom for the challenge, because this has been fun, and this has been a challenge for me because of the printing, because it's already a printed page, and it's challenging for me to come up with ways to work with that and still use it in my journal, and it's been totally fun, and I'm really enjoying it. And when I make sure I've got all my pages in here that I want, which I think it's bulky enough, once I add things, it's going to get bulkier. Then I'm going to bind it and come back on and show you guys. Okay, well, thanks, Nazi, and everybody have a great day and stay inspired. Bye-bye.